Hi, I'm Angified. I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage
Statistics, feelings,
and ourselves.
We stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We will find peace in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find this shining world. Heroes among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black. Love will melt the ice and turn it back, and you will find the world. You will find the world. You find the world. And when you find a place called home, where everyone is free to roam, a whole new world, a better place for our children's futures at stake. And you'll find, with music in your soul, laughter in your hearts, together we can grow a better place, with love in us all. And you will find, together we can save it all. And you will find, a place called home, where everyone is free
Good evening. I want to let you know Angified presents. Do you know what we present tonight to you? Oh, share the love, everyone. Like, share, follow, and subscribe, because tonight we have a very special and, an exclusive interview. Tonight, we have not only an amazing artist, but a national hero. Let's give a warm welcome to Scott. Yay! Scott is here to listen, to learn, and to give back. Humbly unproduced and imperfect. He deeply appreciates the support everyone in Bandlab freely offers. He says, you folks are awesome, but I'll let him tell you that himself later. Thank you so much, Scott. You can go ahead and you can follow Scott at Nano. That is Nain. Here, I'll show it to you. NAINOA 88. Yay! It's so awesome to have you, Scott. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. Like, what an honor. Truly, truly thrilled.
I can't wait to learn more about you.
Well, shoot. I'm just, like I said, I'm just stoked to be here. I'll let you drive then, because I don't even know where to start. So over to you.
Well, I guess we have to start with your ancestors. Like, okay. Where did you come from, Scott? Because you have such a beautiful, creative, artistic, musical, like, positive everything. You're amazing.
Thank you, Angie. Well, my dad is, one grandma's from Mexico, and my dad's from, has German descent from Pennsylvania, through Pennsylvania Dutch. And then on my mom's side, yeah, you got it. And then on my mom's side is, from the Big Island of Hawaii. And then some other, stuff mixed in, European ancestry, but, yeah, Portuguese stuff. But yeah, so that's my answer. That's where I'm from. But I'm from California originally. Lived there for quite a while. Still do. Not coming to you from there right now. I'm coming to you from a brilliant hotel somewhere in the East Coast of the United States. But yeah, hey, San Diego's my hometown.
But it sounds like you're a Heinz 57 like me, from all over.
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah, all kinds of cultural background, exposure, and in the family bloodline. So yeah, really cool.
When did you start music? Were you like young and 3 and just been like, I'm just going to play and have fun, take out the pots and pans on mom and dad, and start banging around? Or was it a little bit later that maybe you started writing first or drawing?
I drew as a kid, and then there was an organ sitting in the house in the late 70s, early 80s that I would tinker around on by ear. And then my grandmother from Hawaii had a ukulele that, I would pick up and plink around on, but it wasn't until age 14 or 15 that out of the blue, age 15, but it was building up at age 14. Out of the blue, I was like, I need to learn how to rock. And I started becoming very interested in guitar. It wasn't for a while. And it wasn't until a while later that I actually could play a chord, but that's when it hit. I was like, I knew I needed to do something with music. Yeah. And a guitar. So 15.
That's awesome. But it all started with, I have to touch those keys.
Yeah, something like that. Just, we lived out in the country, and it was, wintertime. I know Southern California, but we lived in the mountains, and it snowed in the winter. We'd be snowed in, sometimes we'd lose power. And I was just like, got to do something. You can only throw snowballs at each other for so long. And so, I got into music, just tinkering around on that organ, playing Christmas songs during Christmas. That was about it.
I understand the snow.
Yeah, you would.
So many forts and so many people you can throw snowballs out without getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, that was the start. So
Did you have a band then? Because like if you started at 15, you started playing guitar. Did you have some friends that also played instruments?
Yeah, didn't have a band right off the bat. My stepmom noticed that I was interested in playing guitar. I was living in North Dakota at the time because that's where my dad had worked. So I moved up there to live with him for a few years, and she brought home a garage sale guitar that she got for $5, and it had 5 strings on it. It was an acoustic, and I was like, I don't know how to tune it, but I'm just going to sit here and pluck on this thing. So I played on that thing, nothing, knew no chords, just made music 1 string. And then a friend of mine that I was in high school with knew how to play guitar. He's like, come over and we'll jam. So he's like, oh, dude, you need to tune this thing. Oh, and you need a string. And so he got a string, tuned the guitar, and then showed me chords. I think the first chord I learned was E minor. And then, we would jam like once a week, and he'd show me a couple more chords, and I would just, learn those chords and those chord changes until, I got them down. And then I think my senior year in high school, we had my first jam session, and we played Born to Be Wild like 8,000 times. And like, if I never hear that song again, it'll be too soon. And that was my first jam session. So it wasn't really a band. So I got to actually play with other musicians at an early age, and started, figuring out that I could actually do chord changes, and then accidentally started singing one time, and I was like, well, that's fun. Can I actually do it while I'm changing chords? And, oh, that's hard, but we'll get there. And it's just kind of progressed from there.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. I wasn't in an official band until I was 19. And it was some folks that I knew in my job at the time, and some folks that weren't involved in that. And we had a band here in San Diego, and we did a couple gigs at some local establishments, and it was really fun. So, yeah.
That must have been so uplifting.
It was pretty.
Looking at that $5 guitar from the yard sale, not knowing like how to tune it and anything, and then performing.
It really made an impact. And yeah, I just love playing. It's that guitar I wrote my very first, not wrote, because I don't read music or anything like that. I came up with my very first melody on that guitar after it was tuned by my friend, and that melody has emerged in some of the Bandlab or one of the Bandlab recordings as an entire song last year. And it's really cool that it finally came to fruition in lyrics, only like, I don't know, 1985 to 2022. I'm not going to do public math, but it took a while for me to finish that song, and it came out really cool. So anyhow.
It's amazing how, you have a song and you can have it sitting there for 10, 20 years, but it's not finished. And then you just find that right person.
Yeah,
that magic just happens, and it's there. It, and it's your piece. And so for your piece to like breathe and come to life, it's truly a gift.
I have a bunch that have just been languishing in the in the vault. Someday I'll get to that, or whatnot. But yeah, it all started with that 5-string guitar. So I'll never forget that, and I'm always going to appreciate my stepmom for that.
What did you do after high school?
So when I was 17, I had this conversation with my stepdad. Moved back to California after graduating from high school, and it was in midsummer. It was right about now, midsummer. And hey, let's sit down and have a talk. Lights up, smoke. So your 18th birthday's coming up. Where are you going to live?
No.
And so we had a conversation, and he said, well, why don't you consider joining the service? And so I was like, well, there's no way in hell I can join the service. Well, why not? It's like, well, I don't know. I'm just like some punk rock kid, and I'm cool. I'll be fine. He's like, well, there's a lot of things that are going to add up that are going to be overwhelming. And if you, decide to like take this step, then it'll relieve you of all that stress. And it's like, all right. So went to the recruiter's office the next day and signed on the dotted line. So at 17, I joined the service, and I forgot to get out. I didn't get out until 2018. I was the whole time I had planned on it. Just it took a little longer than I anticipated. So yeah, that's what I did after high school.
But you must have enjoyed it.
Yeah, there were enjoyable moments, and there was, it was the people, it's like being in a band. It's like being in a band, the folks that you work directly with, you get along. Some days you have your good days, you have your bad days, but for the most part, you do anything for each other, any kind of day that's going on. So that was that kept me going. And aside from doing that, I always had my hands in something else. I stayed involved in music while in the service, played in different bands. I was in the Navy, so I served on a lot of ships. And so we would always like find other musicians that were on these ships, and we'd get together and jam at all odd hours whenever our schedules would come together. And we'd go into like some foreign port somewhere and go approach a proprietor of a bar and say, hey, can we play here? We'll play for free and we'll pack the house. And that's what we would do. And because we had a whole crew of, sailors that would come to the gig and, drink the place dry and have fun. And then we'd crawl back to the ship at whatever time with all our instruments and sail off, or do it, the whole time we were in a certain port. And so that was my early band experience. And we always played, for free and just for the enjoyment of it. Did that for a while. But I also, when I would, I had friends outside of the service as well that were also musicians. And so I'd play in bands with them. And we do all kinds of fun stuff. And that was the progression. I always had something else going on aside from what I was doing in the service that would, I don't want to say distracted because that's not the word, but would just kind of help with that work-life balance. Music was a big one. Surfing was a huge one that kept me sane. As a matter of fact, that's the only reason I stayed in the Navy for so long. Because when I was 25, I had this flash. I was like, no, when I was 22, if I'm going to live to be 100 and I stay in the Navy, I could 20 years retire at 38 and go move to Costa Rica and surf for 62 years and collect a paycheck. So that was the reason I stayed in the service so long initially in my younger years. So things like that kind of kept me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Music, surfing, really got into I got bit by this like crazy bug. And when I was a youngster, I threw every penny at learning how to fly junky little airplanes. And so I got that out of the way. And I was flying all over the Hawaiian Islands and doing all this, crazy stuff and surfing and playing music. So I had a really fortunate, I've had a really fortunate life, so to speak, back then and even today, still doing all the same silliness.
And you got to experience traveling to different places and hearing different types of music.
Oh my goodness, yes.
There had to be some influences for you.
So the coolest live gig I ever, to this day, I mean, I've seen some pretty good ones, but the best gig I've ever seen wasn't even a gig. It was some street musicians in Ecuador playing traditional Andes music. I have never heard, nor probably won't ever hear anything. There's no other kind of music like that. I mean, there's so many.
You gave me goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, it really
like literally.
I you asked the question, and that was the first thing that popped in my mind. Normally, I would think, well, I saw this one show this one year that was great. No, it was that. Most definitely.
Yeah, and Ecuador it's just amazing. The music sound that comes out of Ecuador is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And to see it live, like literally, that gave me goosebumps, Scott, because I know what I see, like when I'm watching videos and things like that from there, but to see it live and to feel it, because I don't need to know what you're saying in order to feel it. And you know exactly what I'm saying there.
Yeah, I bought a tape from those guys. I don't have it anymore, but I would listen to that thing and just be like in awe of what was going on. This is before, this was in the early 90s. Like I wasn't even, I was invested in music. It was still like a huge part of my life, but as a musician, I couldn't appreciate how awesome that was. I just loved the music. So I guess that's all that really mattered. That was huge. So yeah, I get to see a lot of things.
Scott, let me ask you about your song Gone Away.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about where that came from?
Okay, Gone Away. That remains out of everything I've done so far. Maybe anywhere musically. I've written a lot of songs for my amazing wife too. So that are up there along with at the same level that of meaning for me. Gone Away is more of a, we'll just call it, it's kind of a sad song.
Okay.
And the story behind that song was waiting to be told. And it didn't come out until a friend of mine, whom we all know and love, the venerable Brian Louviers, who is also on Bandlab. We chatted before, and we kind of traded some laudatory comments, which were very sincere. And he's like, hey, Scott, here's this idea I have. And he sent me a track. If anything comes to mind, see what happens. That was in January. And back in 2011, a very dear friend of mine passed while I was on deployment. And I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or talk to her family or anything like that at the time, because I was gone. And my brother had written me, tell me about it. He said, hey, you should really go head up to, Seattle and talk to Melissa's parents and, send your condolences or your regards. I couldn't do any of that. I just buried it. I buried all that and I never talked about it. But I always felt it. And I never really paid any tribute to it and just kind of ignored it because I couldn't approach that situation until Brian Louviers sends me this blank piece of music that just pulled it. I don't even know where it came from. It just just pulled the words right out. And so Gone Away is about a dear friend of mine who passed and whom I never got to say goodbye to. And then I ignored for the whole situation for years. And the song is about finally making it up to, we'll use the cliche, pay last respects. And that's what it's about, and that kind of loss, but it's also a tribute because she was such a really bright soul, and she had a great daughter. Her family's awesome. Her mom's awesome. I found that closure after that song. Did that song with Brian. We recorded it. I put my part on it, and then I got on the internet and looked up some people. I looked up the sister, and then talked to her, and it was like I just talked to her yesterday. She gave me Mom's number. I called Mom and I said, sorry it took me this many years to get back. And it was just like talking to her yesterday. So finally got the closure that I think I needed, and I also wanted her family to understand. So that song is about that, and that's what Gone Away is about, if I could put it in a nutshell.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It's very hard sometimes to find that closure because you can't even find the words within yourself because you're fighting with yourself. Why did this happen? How could this happen? All those questions. And then you're like, you also get a sense of how do I talk to people about this? And it really eats at you. So this is just magic because it was meant to happen. It was meant for you to heal. Yeah. And I think, with you giving back and getting the closure you needed, I think, and I know your friend is definitely watching above, and she knows that and she sees that and feels that as well. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead. Let's check out that song, shall we?
All right,
let's do it. Yeah. We're going ahead here and we're listening to Scott. You can follow him at NAINOA 88. Here is Gone Away. You can find this on Bandlab. So make sure to go ahead, like, share, follow, and subscribe. You will see this is Brian Louviers and Scott. Follow them both. I'm not playing, really. Follow them both. In his description, original on loss and hope. Thank you, Brian Louviers at Retro Neko Media for your composition, which brought the lyrics to light. Rock, Bandlab, new music, like artist, music, original, alternative, indie, fire, real, and vibes.
come so far just to be here, but I'm too late. I'm too late because you're gone, been gone, gone away, gone away, and I wake up to sunlight coming through the blinds, coming through the blinds. It rushes over me. Knowledge, you're no longer here. You're no longer here.
So beautiful, Scott.
Thanks, Ange.
My goodness, I don't even think I can take out and put those words into things. I've had definitely a history with things in my past as well with my family, and it's definitely hard to put those words out there.
Yeah, I don't think that I would have found them if it wasn't for Brian, you know, and he had no idea what he was getting into. We've done a couple songs together, and everything he sends me, just kaboom. So I look forward to more work with him in the future. He's absolutely one of my favorite artists anywhere, Bandlab or otherwise. And just, I don't know, yeah, you got to check Brian out. But that music he sent is what did that. And well, that's that's all I can say there. And I'm forever in his debt for doing that.
Well, I hope to hear more collaborations with you guys in the future.
Thank you.
Because you both are just amazing. And like I said, you guys better go follow them both. Brian, how about Scent of Rain?
Okay, so this goes into the
music. Sounds a little bit different.
Yeah, this goes into the music history of the younger days. This song was written and recorded in a hotel room, not unlike this, on a Tascam Porta Studio 4-track on a tape in 1986. The demo was first done, and it was just an acoustic guitar. And I was living in Hawaii at the time, and had some friends that I started playing music with. I watched them in a bar one time. The band's name was Hortonsphere, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. And we ended up becoming friends. I later joined the band. And it was still called Hortonsphere. I don't know what that means. And I never even cared. They were just great rock, 90s stuff. We're still good friends today.
Okay.
And in 2001-ish, I needed to leave the Hawaiian Islands and head off to other pastures. And so one of the band members, Derek, whom is still a close friend of mine, he's a recording wizard and a musician that can play every instrument and awesome, but he doesn't sing. And so he's like, Scott, let's start. I want you to like sing all these songs that I've written, and we'll do a bunch of yours, and it'll be cool. And we'll just do this for months on, at a time in the garage and live. And I'll put everything together, and then we'll make, some stuff out of it. And so we ended up doing like 5 CDs worth of material. This song was one of the ones I was like, hey, what do you think of this? He's like, that's kind of flamenco cool. Maybe we can, I don't know, you do your part and then I'll get back to you. So I played this acoustic track and did the vocals and the harmonies of this song, which I'm not sure what the meaning is. I just was in a dark mood, stuck in a hotel room somewhere. And I wrote this song, and it's very simple. It's like a very simple dirge about something, late 20s angst or whatever. And Derek put his magic on it and turned it into just a insane, blazing wall of, well, I'll use that word again, insanity. And we recorded, he recorded his parts on it and sent it to me later. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And that's where this song came from. And the reason why I wanted to put this song on the list is because this whole recording thing that I'm doing with Bandlab I never would have even considered it had I not worked with Derek in my garage or his spare bedroom at all hours of the night, just geeking out on music, and him saying, can you redo that vocal? Can you sound a little bit more rocky in that? Or can you're out of key. This went on for hours, and we were both professionals. We were both working, and we would enjoyably do this stuff till 3 a.m, as you guys all well know. And so we ended up doing a lot of material, and this song was one of them. And I just had a whim last month, I think it was June. I was like, let's throw that song up there, because it was from last year, and see if, it gets a little bit more attention, because it was a really, it's just kind of a melodic, cool song. And so I threw it up there, and I thought it would be a good introduction to the stuff I've done with Derek, which is, it all resides on Bandlab under the @GirlsAreEvil project.
I was wondering what GRE was.
Yeah, girls are evil. So here's where that originated. We were like, well, what do we call this recording project? Because we can't call it Horton Sphere because Kevin and Danny, the drummer, aren't involved. So there's this really funny equation. If you look up math equation, Google it, math equation, girls equal evil. It's just this silly, hilarious math equation. We don't subscribe to it, but we thought it was so funny that we would use it as a project name. And that's all it is. We don't really think girls are evil, but it was just hilarious. Like, it's this math equation.
I love the creativity.
Written out on college ruled paper, a math equation that is trying to defend and prove, the statement. So we thought it would be hilarious. And that's where that came from. So this song is a work with Derek Ho out in Honolulu, recorded in my garage at the time in Honolulu. And I'm pretty sure it was about 98 degrees in there, but that's this song.
98 degrees. Dying. Must have been a lot of fun though. Like Hawaii, I heard, is just absolutely gorgeous. So even though it was hot, it's probably like a different type of hot than I'm used to in the Northeast.
It's pretty tolerable. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, wonderful people, great music scene.
And musicians in garages.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you about the Hawaiian musicians. You know how bluegrass musicians are through the roof? Like, how did they just do that? That's how the Hawaiian musicians are. Oh my gosh. Yeah, same on parallel with our best bluegrass musicians are the Hawaiian musicians out there just playing Hawaiian music. It's a great vibe. I'll have to send you some links to that.
Let's go ahead. Let's listen to this song now. Scent of Rain. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Do it. Yay! Don't forget, girls are evil. He says, Happy Friday. Original dark and crazy slow dance love song from the At Girls Are Evil, GRE, Vault. Hashtag rock original acoustic guitar indie music, song, and music. Here we go.
I think you love to find it in me. Santa rain tonight, you softly. I think you love to find it in me. Santa rain tonight, you softly. I wish I had never seen the light of your face, and I can't seem to know any other place.
Holy crap, Scott. The heart everything on that was, you nailed it.
Thank you, Ange. That was Derek knows how to produce some stuff. I'm trying to get him on Bandlab now so we can continue this magical journey. I'm going through his wife to get her. I'm gonna get her to push him back. He's just so busy. But yeah, he's a genius. That song was really fun. The playing the guitar parts on it and that little lead, part on it, kind of came out of nowhere. that little, I don't know how to describe it, that little flamenco or maybe even Middle Eastern vibe, lead that found its way into that song. Just, I thought it made that tune, but that one was really fun to do. I'm super glad that, at the last minute we pulled that one into the repertoire, so to say, because it's just really fun. And what Derek did to it with that midway through, just parachuting in with drums and bass and heavy guitars was just rock. Yeah, good old Derek. So I'm going to get him in here if it's the last thing I do.
Derek, you're being called out.
Yeah, Derek's been called out. And Kevin, the other singer.
And no hiding behind your wives.
No. I do have an interesting story, because stories are cool, right? So we were playing under the name Horton Sphere, and we did some fun stuff in Hawaii. We played some gigs here and there, and it was really cool. And we're all good friends. But because of my job and everybody else, stuff, we kind of like, hey, we got to take a break for a while. So we kind of, broke up for a bit. And I was doing solo stuff because it doesn't involve teammates. You can just go do it. And Kevin, the lead on the band, Kevin Jones, also a good friend, just talked to him the other day, another Bandlab target of mine, got this phone call from the radio station because he was in radio saying, hey, Lisa Loeb's coming to town. Will you guys open for her? And he didn't even blink an eye. He's just like, yes. And then called all of us later after we already agreed to it. We'd been broken up for 6 months, hadn't played a song. Hey guys, we're going to open for Lisa Loeb next Saturday at the Warehouse, which was a venue that could hold about 3,000 people. And we're like, what the? So
your eyes probably popped out of your head.
Yeah, we're like, are you kidding me? We don't know we haven't played together. We don't know any songs. So we got together in Derek's office. He worked in an engineering company down at the airport, and we crammed all our equipment in there, and we practiced every night for 5 nights and got a 10-song set list down, which was bulletproof. But our bass player had bailed, so we had to bring in a bass player overnight from the church band, Brent. He really was awesome. He came in, he was a super sport, and learned 10 songs in 5 days perfectly. So we played that show, and it was really cool. But here's the really fun story about that show was we went to do sound
Lisa
check.
Loeb.
She was phenomenal, by the way. So we went to do sound check, and because we got there early, got all our stuff set up, and here she is up on the stage, 10 feet in front of us, doing her sound check. Good sized venue, a few thousand people. Manager's hanging out in the sound booth, and she's like, it sounds awesome. I'm like, wow, this is sounding really good. This is gonna be a fun show. Never played with this much sound. And the manager's like, all right, good to go. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, it sounds great. No, I'm not ready. I don't think it sounds good. And he's like, we need to make room for the opening act. We need to get them up here so they can sound check. I'm gonna use a cuss word.
Go for it.
She looked me straight in the eye and goes, fuck the opening act. And I'm standing down there I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, ouch.
No, I was like, no, not ouch. I was like,
heart racing,
it wasn't an ouch. It was not an ouch at all. We were all like, we looked at each other like, I think we're all in love with this woman collectively. So we all had crushes on Lisa Loeb instantly from that moment. And because, here's this gal that probably isn't even pushing 5'2", telling us to fuck off in public. Well, there wasn't anybody there. And we're like, wow. So it was just one of those really cool moments. And then we opened for her, and it was very well received. And then she played, I'm sorry?
Not to expect her like that either, because if you listen to her music, she doesn't come off in her music like that at all.
Oh man. Her show
awesome.
was one of the better shows I've seen, and it was not like that one song you heard on the radio. It was really, really good. There was distortion involved. I didn't expect it, and it was an awesome show. And that was kind of the backstory of this Girls Are Evil thing that I thought was worthy of telling. And I'm a lifelong Lisa Loeb fan because of that experience. It was really cool. Yeah, she wouldn't remember, but we sure all did.
Absolutely. That's an unforgettable moment.
yeah. So that was that. Sorry.
Kick-ass story.
I kind of went long. I apologize, but that one's always just cracked me up. So
Don't apologize. That is amazing. Like, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Kevin,
I think I'm gonna have to like marry Lisa Loeb now too.
Kevin still owes us beers for signing us up for that without our permission. He's a great guy. Yeah, that guy can sing. Anyhow, yeah, we're gonna get him in Bandlab as well, or something. But he's out there.
Well, let's head down to the road to Salinas.
Okay, the road to La Serena.
Yeah,
Salinas is a cool town.
It is. See, I can never pronounce things right.
That's okay. That's okay.
Thank you for fixing me.
Do you want me to talk about this song?
Please.
Okay. So in my travels, I've been to some really cool places, and one of the coolest places is Chile. And I got dropped off in a place called Valparaiso, which is kind of south central in the country, on a ship, and made my way to Santiago, which is on the base of the Andes, to meet an uncle's business partner, who was to have a driver, one of the guys that worked for him, give me a ride to see my family in La Serena, which is up north about 4 or 5 hours. And it's family through marriage. My mom's sister, my aunt, married a Chilean man who's awesome. And she moved down there, and then boom, now I got all these cousins and family down there that I'd never met. So I make it to Santiago, and we have drinks one afternoon. I'm not driving. And then jump in the Toyota Hilux pickup truck with the vinyl seats, which were brilliant, and headed off at like 6 p.m. to drive up to La Serena, Chile, to get dropped off at my family's house. During the drive, it's a 2-lane road, and it's beautiful, and it's some high desert, some mountains, some coastline. Just staring out the window, looking at the stars, things tend to come to you. So This song was conceived in part there, and the lyrics have filtered in over the years. And I finished it in November, finally, and that's when it appeared in Bandlab. And did some. It's a very garagey. I used a cajon, and I don't use a click track in a lot of cases. So I put it together, and recently, after the new year, I sat down behind the drum kit and did some ads and put some bass to it. I'm not a drummer by trade, but I have a drum set in my garage that I've been tinkering with. So I put some ads on it and bass, and this is how it came out. And it's still very garagey, poor production, but I do love the song. That's the story.
Well, we're going to go ahead. We're going to check out this road. We're going to travel with Scott to the road to La Serena. And we're going to visit our family in Chile.
Well,
Chile is so amazing. The family and everything there, they're just, they're very tight. You know, I wish I see more families with the bonds and beliefs and the trust that they have there, because it's very special.
Tremendous place. Tremendous place.
Yes. Well, let's check this out, shall we?
Thanks, Ange.
I'm so excited. Yes. Let's go ahead and take a magical adventure to the road to La Serena. Oh. This is an original scribbled on paper many years ago during the drive from Santiago to La Serena, Chile. This one has been with me for a while and remains a personal favorite. Complete reproduction from the November 22nd version. Rock original, folk guitar, and acoustic.
Staring out the window up to the sky, sometimes I wonder what's up there. flash by while the mountains they stand still, embraced by the stars. When I get there, I don't know what I'll find. I've traveled so far, I'm alone again. In presence and thought, I'm alone again. In presence and in thought, colors of light bleed through the fibers of the cloud, but I see nothing when it's beautiful. This is the sum, is the call. I've been here once before, but I woke it up. Is this a dream? Sometimes I go to a place I can't recognize. I can't recognize. The sands of time hang in the wind, stay in my face like cover of my eyes. A tattered scarf, my only shield, as I press into the storm, as if leaning towards a flame. When I get there, I don't know what I'll find. I've traveled too far, I'm alone again. In presence and thought, I'm alone. In presence and thought, 'cause of light bleed through the fibers of the cloud, but I see nothing, and it's beautiful. This is the summit, the call. I've been here once before, but I have woken up. But that was a dream.
Scott, I have to say congratulations, because I was looking at that one and you had over 6.67 thousand plays on that. That has been a hit for you.
That one's been crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure you hear about that one a lot.
1 second. I'm trying to figure out how to make this thing. That one has, I guess, resonated with some folks. And I'm really glad for it to be able to do that. It's just such a, I don't know, I'm really humbled by that, that people would play that song so many times. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless on that. If there's a lack of a better of a better term.
I don't think there is. It's perfectly, because how do you wrap your head around that?
I don't. I don't. And I'm really happy if it influences some folks. And I try to leave, you don't know how long you're going to be around. So when you put, when I put music out, I could give two shits on, I want, I leave all that stuff forkable, because if I get hit by a meteor tomorrow, I want, somebody else to go jam on that. And a bunch of people have jammed on that. I'm like, what? So continue, to jam on stuff and, do your thing. That's just me. That's my position. Because I'm just here for, I don't know, hanging out, doing music and sharing music. And if someone latches onto something like that song, and like is motivated to play music to it or jam to it, then I'm die happy, man, at that point. So that's where I'm coming from. In answer to your question.
Infamous to live forever through music. To share your inspirations, your creativities, your art, and let somebody else go ahead and take it. That's truly a gift. Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Shoot. Well, look at all the songs that we've all like been influenced by and just love to cover. I mean, man, so if someone wants to cover something I wrote, little old me, then I'm good. It's all good now. I can just go take a nap or whatnot.
Right.
That's how I feel about that song, and really honored that people dug it that way. So anyhow, thank you.
Thank you. Now, Scott, I have a question. There's been a lot of places that you've seen. What is your favorite?
What's my favorite?
What's your favorite place that you've been to, excluding Ecuador with the music? Because we already know, like, that's unbeatable. That's
the most, okay, so the place, the most magical place, or I want to say the place that I've been to that's had probably the strongest energy, besides Hawaii, and I'm not talking about tourist energy, I'm talking about different energy, was Easter Island. And that was after that whole La Serena trip. Made my way back down to Valparaiso, where the ship was at, via Tourbus, which was the bus, which was the Greyhound of Chile, and got on the ship, and we went to Easter Island, which is in the middle of nowhere off the coast of Chile, very remote. And we went there for 3 days. I have never felt the same kind of energy, except for like maybe on the big island of Hawaii, as there. It was just palpable and intense and beautiful and crazy. And the same associate of my uncle's in Santiago had a business connection in Easter Island, of all places. And he, so I called this, or I emailed, or whatever it was back then, this person, and I was able to, have a hookup in Easter Island. So I got my own little personal moai, stone carving, which is those headstones. Got to have dinner with a local family, and I brought a couple of friends from the ship too. That was really cool. And then, got to walk around that island, untouched and undisturbed, and met by nobody anywhere. And it was beautiful, and the surf was insane. It was me and a helicopter pilot every morning and every evening when we weren't out doing other things, in this perfect wave, which was right there off the beach, which was very close to the ship. We were at anchor, about a half mile off the shore, and you couldn't get any better than that. So Easter Island, for a lot of reasons, was probably the most special place. And I think what made it most special is the fact there's no way in hell I'm ever getting back there. There's no way. And so we really made the most of that. We just kind of soaked that in. Been a lot of really neat places, but that was the heaviest place I've ever been in a lot of ways. If that makes sense. Now,
Scott, if you would have stayed in the Navy, could I have fit inside your duffel bag? Because Easter Island sounds like really, really nice.
Yeah, it would have. It was a pretty cool. Yeah, probably, maybe. Yeah.
I'm 5'2", so I'm about Lisa Loeb's. I'm about Lisa Loeb's size.
Push you in there.
Be in there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always join. They're still looking for submarines have windows. Sign up right now.
There you go.
Yeah, so I was really fortunate to be able to go there. That was in the late 90s, and that left a lasting impression. And I've been able to go a lot of cool places, but that was, like I said, I have nothing but gratitude for being able to, see the places I've seen in those
you want to tell me a little bit about that song as well, or is that pretty much
that was an
the
accident.
places that you've seen? That was beautiful.
Okay. So that was an accident, but so that song is new. That song came out last month.
Okay.
Woke up in the morning and wrote that song. The house was still asleep, and you kind of, at least for me, I kind of do my best work when the house is still asleep. I get up and drink, 2 cups of coffee, and then I'm wired, and then the creativity comes in, and I know that no one's getting up for another hour. That's how that song happened. That song's based on, it's based on 2 things. It's based on a book by Steve Ambrose called Undaunted Courage, which is about the Lewis and Clark expedition, which I read last summer when I was in Wyoming for a couple of weeks. I needed a book, and I read that. And what a great book. So the song is written from the point of one of the members of that expedition, the Corps of Discovery, as it was called, as a young man, like bailing on his family and friends and heading off on this expedition into the unknown. So that's what that's about. And they make it all the way to the Pacific and endure a lot of crazy stuff, and no one gets killed, and they don't, and they don't have conflict. It's not like, later history of the West where there's lots of conflict with the locals. That didn't really happen. I mean, they had their moments, but it was a pretty clean trip altogether. They made it to the Pacific and they made it back. And it took some time. The guy comes back and no one gives a shit, for lack of a better term. I mean, it was a huge deal. It reaped rewards later in the form of, I don't want to get into U.S. history, but it reaped rewards later, in opening up the West. It was rewards for some, not so much for others. So this guy goes back and he tries to adjust to life back home in the city where he came from, and it's just not happening. So the parallels for that are like the guys and the gals that repeat deploy to wherever. They come home and they're just like, what? This isn't, I just don't, everyone's talking about, keeping up with that one family, starts with a K. Like, we just did all this stuff and no one gives a shit. So I'm imagining that this guy is coming back from that experience and being like, you know what? I'm out. He grabs his pack, loads it up, and he leaves forever to go back to that. So that's what this song's about.
The places you've seen.
I don't know if
I have to ask Scott, this picture, where was this picture from?
That's in Big Bear at Derek's wedding with his wife, Ressa, and the guy to my, right. That's Kevin Jones. He is the other member, one of the other members of Horton Sphere. You can't see Danny. He was the drummer of the original band that we all played with in Honolulu. Derek and his wife flew to Big Bear, California, which is in the mountains outside of LA, for their wedding. And we all converged. Kevin and Danny were in LA, or not LA, but they were in Las Vegas in a band called Crash Dove. They released a really cool single, an album, which I'm going to steal one of Kevin's songs soon. I asked him permission last week, and I'll cite him, of course.
Are you going to share it?
That was at Derek's wedding. That was at Derek's wedding. But that gentleman to my right, Kevin Jones, is one of the most fantastic singers and live performers I've ever observed. He leaves nothing. He leaves it all on stage in a live performance. I learned a lot from him. But yeah, that's Derek's wedding. I think we were playing a Zeppelin song at this point.
Whole lot of love, because that's what it looks like this picture is giving.
Thank you. Thank you. Pretty sure it was that song. And I hadn't really heard that song then. And so I had to learn it quickly, and it quickly became a favorite song of mine. But yeah, that's your.
Did you have more than 10 days?
Yes, I did. I got some warning. It's a great wedding. It was a beautiful time, and they rented all these nice places for us to sleep, and the night sky was so awesome that I slept in the back of my truck. I was like, what? There's no way I'm going inside. It was just too awesome. So
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's that picture. And the laser, because everyone was from Hawaii.
That is cool.
The lyrics for this song, I think, reside in the bottom of the comments section. So I apologize if I didn't put them in the lyrics tab. But
Oh,
That's
well, that just gives people more reason to go to your Bandlab and subscribe and check out your tracks and your music, doesn't it?
And I think for once, I might have enunciated on this song to where you may be able to understand me instead of my usual mumbling. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Oh, well, I don't hear mumbling, Scott. I think you definitely, you lay it out there. Your harmonies are great. Your words, your emotions behind it all, whether it's something you compose or somebody composed, and you just found that magic where your words fit in, like Brian Levere's and earlier with Gone Away.
Yeah, Brian. I can't talk enough about that guy. Hi, Brian. Hey, buddy. Anyhow, yeah. Thank you.
We're going to check out the places Scott has been. This is an original through the eyes of a young man some years after the return from Lewis and Clark's Corps of Discovery Expedition. 1806 Art C. M. Russell. Folk, guitar, acoustic, new music, original song, Americana. Yay!
Set out early in the dark, made our way across the mountains to the other side of the range. And that last long lonely rift, it seemed like forever for the rising sun of the day. What I'd give to hear word from my mother, and I wonder how my sweetheart is back home. What I'd give to sit down with my father, talk about the basic things that I say. Jefferson gave us the go, a year of preparation to set out in the month of May. So we went up the river, had to make what's called Dakota before the winter snow set in. To see the forest for the trees, this time it was the ocean, as far as one can say. It took 6 months just to get here. I don't think that I'll ever feel this way again. What I'd give to hear word from my mother, and I wonder how my sweetheart is back home. What I'd give to sit down with my father, talk about the basic things that I say. To hear word from my mother, and I wonder how my sweetheart is back home. What I'd give to sit down with my father, talk about the places that I sing. The city's choking me, no one cares who wants to talk of things that we did. So now I've got my pack, one last trip out to the station somewhere west is where you find me. I guess I never left them plains, I'm still out there on some path along the banks of the Yellowstone. I can see their faces now, smiling pure and simple in a time that's now long gone. What I'd give to hear word from my mother, and I wonder how my sweetheart is back home. What I'd give to sit down with my father, talk about the basic things that I say. What I'd give to hear word from my mother, and I wonder how my sweetheart is back home. What I'd give to sit down with my father, talk about them faces, the things that I say. We sit out in the dark, midway across the mountains to the other side of the range. And that last long lonely red, it seemed like forever for the rising sun of the day. We sit out in the dark, made our way across the mountains, other side of the range.
Oh, God, that is so catchy. I don't know if you realize how catchy that is, but it's really catchy.
Thank you, Ange. That was a fun song to play. And
the meaning behind it, like you're literally speaking to your parents.
Yeah, a young guy that bails out of, when you leave home for the first time. I don't care. I don't care if it's on the core of discovery, or maybe you're just going to college, or I never went to college, but maybe you're going to go do other things.
Or maybe dad just comes to you before you turn 18 and says, where are you going to go when you turn 18?
Yeah. But, you still, those folks are still endearing to you, and you miss them when you're, off doing your thing. But that song just kind of, was one of those morning coffee songs, based on a book that I really, really, really enjoyed reading. And, it was one of those few things to happen in the American West that wasn't laced with tragedy. So it was worth coming up with something and relating it to, my own experiences in a way, but, also as a tribute to others, in a lot of ways whom I've met in my travels. So yeah, fun song. And I'll tell you what, playing the drums to that was really, really fun, because I'd never, done something like that all the way through before. It's usually hit and miss. And I kind of copied a Mike Ness song on that drum part, and it just worked. Yeah. So,
and you made it so catchy.
But yeah, he was a big influence on how that drums came out. But yeah, thank you. It's just a fun song to play. And yeah, I don't know. Just babbling, I guess.
That's okay. Let me ask Scott, if you were to go ahead and you were to talk to your younger self, what advice would you go ahead and give to yourself and to others out there, that are kind of, because somebody's, their ways that they've lived and their stories and messages can be somebody else's handbook and help them along their journeys as well. What kind of influence would you give to them or to yourself?
So are we talking life advice here?
Life advice. Like, what would you say to yourself, when you first picked up that guitar, that you got from your aunt from the garage sale?
Yeah. That's a tough question, and I'm torn about it. I'm very torn about that question. And the reason
I kick my own ass too, believe me.
Yeah. I'm torn about that question, because I don't know if I would have pursued music, I don't know where that would have gone, and that's fine. That's totally okay. I don't know if I would have pursued music instead of going into the service, that I would have found the free space in my head, because I was taken care of on those life things like shelter, security, having a place to sleep, and 3 square a day. I don't know if I would have been able to find the headspace to create. So I don't know the answer to your question. Okay. But if I was to give life advice to somebody, and I've probably given this before, follow your dreams by all means, but have a gig on the side. I don't care if you mow lawns, if you do land. I love doing that kind of stuff, by the way. I don't care what you do, but do it in concert with the things that you want to do, the things that you dream about. Like, I would never be a pro surfer, but I still sure as hell love to go get in the water. And because I had 3 squared and a place to stay, I was able to do those things. And only now, later in life, I'm finally making time to catch up on some music creativity and stuff. And at this point, making it to me is just sharing stuff with you guys, and then jamming, like, and doing collaborations and some, getting some lyrics that have been hiding, for years. And thanks to a guy like Brian, helping those come out. That's where I'm at. And music's changed so much so if you're asking a question that relates around, your younger self, what would you have done different musically, or would you have pursued that? Then, yeah, there's some speculation on what could have happened, but there's a bunch of musicians out there that are just phenomenal that, I measure their success in how much I love them, even though they may not be, massive mega concert hall packing musicians. So bottom line, let me just summarize. Do what you want to do and have a way to support yourself while you're doing it. So you young folks that are like in your teens and 20s and whatnot, if you have a break where you can actually look at the cards and say, whoa, I can actually stop doing my certain gig and go pursue this and take a risk. You're still young enough to go do that. And if you have to go back to what you did before, then you'll have a hell of a cool experience on the road. Just read Henry Rollins' book, Get in the Van, if you want to learn about getting into music at a young age and going out there trying to make it. I was very influenced by that book. And if you've heard of that or not, it's kind of hard to get a hold of, but probably one of the better books I've ever read. Does that answer your question?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
You're going to have to send me a lot of links here.
I rambled a bit, but yeah, that's what I would say. Have something, have something to pay the bills, and fund your guitar strings and drumsticks while you're, finding your way. That's all.
That's great advice. Great advice. And then you'll get everything you deserve.
Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe you just get to have some great jam sessions with your pals, and it's like, whoa, and you remember those.
Right?
You remember those when everything clicks. You remember those more than anything. Well, at least I do. I geek out on that shit, but
I do too. It's magic.
Yeah. When it all clicks. Yeah. I wish we would have recorded that.
Record everything. Golden rule.
Yeah. I know that now.
I think my friends and I always kind of joked around and we were like, don't quit your day job.
Yeah. My day jobs were like forced for blocks of time. So it was like, well, I kind of forgot about that. There was no quitting, unless I wanted to like smoke my way out or do something like that, which I never wanted to do. But I totally hear where you're coming from, Ange, and also you, SR. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, still have fun though. That's the big thing. I think the key to sanity. I don't care what you're doing for a living. You need to find some sort of life, and work balance that where you have your space where you can kind of just let go and do your thing. My wife and I have this great saying. And it's relates to when you get on an airplane. When you get on an airplane and the flight attendants get up there and they do their karate and they talk about the gas masks and the seatbelts and all that stuff. That's what I meant by karate. Hand waving. And they always say, in the event of cabin depressurization, put your oxygen mask on first if you have young children with you. Because you can't do shit for your kids unless you can take care of yourself, right? So me and my wife have that saying, take care of yourself first. And if that's music or whatever you like doing to, get your own escape so you can like recenter and be there for your friends and family, then that's what we do. Like we have a saying that, honey, I need to put my gas mask on this weekend. And the next thing I know, I'm in the water or I'm like, fishing some pond somewhere, trying not to get bit by rattlesnakes or in the garage recording. So that's part 2 of my advice is always make time to, if you can make that kind of time to give to yourself, even if it's just little things, because then you'll have that space to come back to the world and do what you need to do. So anyhow, yeah, that's what I've learned.
I love it. That's great advice, Scott. Now I have to ask about the song Deserve This because, I want to thank you so much for your services for all those years that you forgot to get out of the Navy.
Thank you.
And
I still
and
forgot.
for sharing all of these beautiful stories, these messages, your gifts and talents with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, though. Deserve this. So last year around this time, I went through a creative frenzy because I discovered Bandlab I joined on like the 14th of July, posted the first song on the 19th. And the only reason was I was looking for a place to archive music, original stuff. Okay. In case, like I mentioned previously, you get hit by a meteor, where's this stuff going to reside? And I had a flurry of creativity for one reason or the other. And Deserve This came in the month of July. And it's a song that has several different angles coming from it. And like a lot of songs, I don't know where they come from. They just kind of pop up. This one is about going through a rough time, as we all do at our own level. And then kind of coming out on the other side and counting your blessings to basically counteract all those other things that happened. Could have been early in life, could have been later, could be concurrently with what's going on. My focus of this song when I wrote it and when I was thinking about it was for a young man that is no longer with us. I'm not going to mention his name because I haven't been able to contact his family, that was lost to us overseas in a place in the desert, in a conflict. We'll just leave it at that. And I don't know what kind of tribute ever really came of that. It's not just for him, but that one really hit home because after his unit had left the area that we were at, I found his hat, which we call a cover in the military. It has a name on the back of it and had, sweat stains from, his time there. And I'm like, man, I need to get this. I need to send this thing to Mom. And, we got that taken care of. But it just, it never really left me that, I've got all these great things going for me, despite these silly, trivial setbacks that I might, encounter in life. And then when I see pictures of, Marine Sergeant females holding baby, if you decide to look into that, last year, it's things like that that really hit home for me. So this song Deserve This talks about your everyday stuff and what you're going through. And though it's not insignificant, we all deal with things in our own way. If you can come out on the other side and know that you deserve to be happy, you deserve to let the things that other people did before you count, then that's why this song is important. And because we're getting towards the end of this interview, I will tie the first line of this song into the most pivotal thing to happen to me musically. Okay, the first line of this song is, car broke down on a Friday night, far away from any city lights. What did I do to deserve this? I was a young man, recently joined the service, going home for the weekend to see those parents and hang out with them. And we lived in a remote area in California. My car broke down right before dark, 8 miles from the nearest town. And I was like, F-bomb. Fuck. And so anyhow, it's like I started walking and it was almost dark. And this grizzled old dude, I may have had my thumb out, I can't admit, or, I cannot confirm or deny that. This grizzled old dude in this grizzled old beat up truck, rusted out F2 something, pulls over, need a ride? I'm like, yeah, dude, I need to go to Ramona. So Ramona was the nearest town. So I get in this truck with this guy and he's totally cool. I didn't get a bad vibe. And we're driving to Ramona. It's now dark. I just need a ride to the gas station. I'll make a phone call. This is before cell phones, right? And we're listening to this music that I hadn't heard before. The last time I'd listened to country music was when I was, 13, 14, 15, listening to what was on the radio at the time, which was awesome. Don Williams, all that, early 80s stuff. This is different. I hadn't been listening to country for a while because I'm in my punk rock, post-punk stage. Now I'm in the service. And this thing we're listening to just blew my mind. And so I was kind of scared straight, all the way, because there's this, old dude driving me. I wasn't scared of him being creepy, but I was, very respectful. I'm getting a ride. He drops me off at this gas station. I worked up the courage to say, "Hey, sir, what is it we're listening to?" Because it made a huge impact on me musically and like from all kinds of angles. He brushes the, empty beer cans and all the other shit off his dashboard, and he pulls out this cassette tape. Didn't say a word. He just puts it in my face. It's Copperhead Road from Steve Earle. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna mental note of that. So, of course, I went on to seek out, every piece of Steve Earle material I could find since then, and probably own that and a million bootlegs, and seen him a bunch of times, and then heavily influenced by his music. But that first line of the song Deserve This is like me standing on the side of the road. My car's broke down. Why me? Something stupid, right? But it was from that. So the rest of the song goes to talk about other negatives that may have occurred and did. And then into the things that are, at present, which are good. And that was one of my first Bandlab songs. And I think it's probably one of the more important ones. It's up there with Gone Away. So that's why I threw it at you as an addition.
That is such a cool story.
And
taking a creepy dark night, a gentleman that literally you can tell has been drinking because there's cans everywhere, right?
Yeah, who knows? He was super
stranded,
cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I've tried to re-record this song on two occasions. I've tried to redo it. I can't get to the, I haven't been able to capture the feel of that first raw, messed up, no click track, no nothing, just record it. So I've just left it. Someday I'll get around to it, but I can't get past it. So it's a clunky recording, but I can't get over where I was when I recorded it. So I'm just leaving it. Yeah. And I don't know if I'm ever going to change it.
It's those that make it memorable.
Yeah.
It makes it so memorable because, even yourself, like to duplicate it in the same train of thought that you were in with the same emotion is like, I don't know how I could relive that again, to do that exactly the same. Like it was magic when it happened. And it's like, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you definitely deserve everything. Like lots of love. Shares, go like, share, subscribe. Let's check out Deserve This.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're listening to Scott at Naino88, Nainoa 88. We're going to go ahead and check out Deserve This.
City nights, what I do to deserve this? She left me standing in the rain, ring in my hand, holding back the pain. What I do to deserve this? And I got past it for that dream job again. What I was looking for, I'm the perfect fit. What I do to deserve this? And I've been walking around, I'm such a wreck, something I can't seem to fix. What I do to deserve this? No, I'm not here with my thoughts, six-pack of beer, yeah, I'm so lost. I wake up with the moon still well. I pull those blue straps up, get through the day, yeah, I take it day by day, but I dread the night to come. Cradled by the moon, up all night to greet the sun. What I do to deserve this? Now I got two good boys, they're still inside. Our daughter, she turned out alright. What I do to deserve this? Waking up with my sweet wife, everything's right in my life. What I do to deserve this? Made it back from a war without a scratch. Somehow, yeah, I made it back. What I do to deserve this? Made it back from a war without a scratch. Somehow, yeah, we all made it back. What do we do to deserve this? Made it back from a war without a scratch. Some of my brothers and sisters ain't coming back. Make you worth it. 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 'Cause you deserve this. They deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this.
That's another catchy one. Oh, and you definitely deserve all the happiness that you've been bestowed, because it is definitely very fortunate to wake up in the morning.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping to at least tell myself with this song. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. You know, it's one of those songs that kind of makes you think about how lucky you are.
Yeah, and I'm certainly no exception. I'm extremely lucky, no matter, I don't care what's going on the negative. I'm very lucky. There's a lot of folks that are really having a tough time. And, you know, I wish we could all not have a tough time, but it's just one of those realities. And this song is, you know, it's not just for it's basically for anybody. I don't care where you're from or what nationality or whose flag you're flying. It's more of a human thing. So that's where I designed it in my head to try to at least come to grips with human stuff. So anyhow.
Absolutely. I think it gives a lot of hope, and it's human, it's life, you know. Even if it was a puppy dog, you know, that you had, because those are your babies, you know, even if it's a pet that you've had for a long time, you know, and something happens and they go before, you know, you expected them to go, you know, because you don't ever want to leave. That's still your family member. You never want to lose them or let them leave you, you know. And so it's like, what did they do to deserve this? You know, and you start questioning things when things happen, you know, so this is definitely a song of hope and inspiration. And like I said, a lot of food for thought to think about how lucky we truly are.
Yeah. And it's hard to see that sometimes, you know, it's hard to like see that through the BS of daily life. Like, what do I really have going on for me? If I have to compare it with somebody else's, you know, state, it's a no-brainer, you know, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, that's the song.
All right, Scott. So I got one last question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you plan on seeing all of this great music go in the future?
That's a really good question. You know, I'm having a good time just playing music here and now with kind of like that freelance, free spirit, no care in the world, just throwing some music on Bandlab because it's a lab. You know, we get to experiment and have fun. I do enjoy doing live stuff here and there. Excuse me. When I have time. You know what, if the music can just get out there and reach people and they can get, you know, something out of it, that's all I care about. I don't, from a personal standpoint, I don't have any aspirations for, you know, whatever the traditional model that we grew up with, you know, fame and fortune, rock and roll. Yeah, I do like diving off the stage from time to time, but that's, you know, that's not me playing. That's a good question, and I don't really have a really good answer. I get a lot of enjoyment out of playing live. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of writing songs that, you know, if I get one person say, hey, you know, that connected, then I'm good.
Job
you know,
done.
Does that kind of answer your question on that one?
Other than fork me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good, you know, good statement for those that are initiated in the Bandlab ways is, you know, go ahead and fork this. You know, my wife has said, don't put forks out on the tracks that are for us. I'm like, all right, honey, I'll kind of shy away from that. But you know,
man.
Yeah, I've written so many songs for my wife, and I love all of them. I could just play them continuously because she's amazing. But yeah, I don't have any big, you know, music aspirations except for just to hang out with, you know, with you and all you folks, and share music and hopefully jump in on your songs and, you know, add something or, you know, screw them up. So now, you know, that's my thing. So
beautiful. Scott, it's been definitely a pleasure. This has been an amazing interview, and I can't wait to hear the things that you're going to be coming out with next and all the great collaborations. I know you and Brian have got some things in the future coming, so be on the lookout. I'm going to be.
There's definitely a few good fun. I don't want to say good. I don't want to, you know, there's some fun stuff coming up. I can rest assured of that.
Anything that's fun is good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making time to do this, you guys. This has been just a real pleasure for me. And I'm just like delighted beyond any like measure. It's like,
thank you. It's been an honor.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you'll just bear with us a few minutes, we're going to go ahead, wrap up this interview. Like, share, and subscribe to Scott. You got this, everyone. Make sure you do. Scott am I pronouncing that right?
It's Nainoa.
Nainoa. Ha. At least I'm spelling it every time right.
You got it. You got it.
Nainoa88. Yes. Go ahead. Check him out. You can check out all the great tracks that we have played tonight on Bandlab. Make sure to go ahead, like, share, subscribe. You'll find Gone Away, Scent of Rain, Road to La Serena, The Places I've Seen, Deserve This, and many, many more. Yeah.
Thanks, Ange.
This is Angified Presents.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love or hate? I love you. Do you have thoughts? Do you want to share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have thoughts? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share? Are you gonna spread love or hate?